Nice to see you all. Thanks for coming. Today I want to present our tool, Laravel Bootstrapper. Did you ever had the situation that you are starting a new client project or personal project and thought, oh man, I have to do so much base work. So defining all the project structure, getting all the migration set up, and exactly this problem solves the Bootstrapper. So let me show to you how the project looks like once it's generated. I will jump right into the generation process afterwards. So this is the website. And in my user account, we see our Laravel Switzerland meetup project. This is how it looks like. So we have the basic authentication. You have to know that once the project is generated, we already create a new user seeded in the database so that you can access, for example, Laravel Nova and do all of the authenticated requests from the API, which is also generated. First things first, we can have a look at the generated Nova backend, if it loads. Here we can see that Laravel Bootstrapper already generated all of our resources. So we have card products, cards, content pages, and so on. You can even go to the products and see there are some resources. I generated or created them before the presentation. And also all the filters are automatically generated. So you can filter your products by name, also the price range, and if it's active or not, and so on. That's not all. We also generate a complete Postman resource, which you can download and open it up inside Postman. You can have a quick look at that. So here you can see, once I import this big JSON file, we have all the resources on the left side. And if I go to the products and maybe want to get a list request, I can disable the filters here. And we should see the fan t-shirt and the fan cap from our merch store. And as the filters are also generated for the API requests, we have, for example, the only filter, which allows us to filter by ID. Exact the same in reverse. We can order like this or ascending. And also the pagination is completely done. Even price ranges are possible. So let's do this. We want to only see products in the range of 0 to 30. And something is going wrong there. 40. That's why. Thanks. Now it's working. And yeah, you can filter all attributes which you defined. You can even filter by relations. So we can say we want to include a category ID or exclude it. If you might wonder what filters are available, you can simply jump right into the Swagger UI API documentation, which is also generated from your definitions. And here you can see, if we go to the products where we... So here we can see all the filters provided from the initial generation process. And yeah, we can also try the requests in Swagger UI, but I think Postman is the tool of choice for that. Right, yeah, that's how a generated project looks. One thing I forgot to show, we even implemented Git so that you can view every change the generation process did. So we can jump into here, take some seconds. We are automatically logged in. It's a GitLab instance. And here we can see the first thing, obvious, Laravel is installed from the basic composer Laravel installation command. And then all the packages get installed, Nova, and so on. So let's maybe have a look at the migrations. Quickly search for them. Here, as you can see, I did this in the morning, but it's working. Yeah, here we can see all the generated migrations. And where do we have our products? Yeah, also with all the common relations. So you're able to define everything. Right, so enough for that. Let's have a look at all the configuration possibilities you have. If you go to the base configuration, you can see that we currently support Laravel 10, but Laravel 11 is on its way, hopefully next week. And you can also see that we are currently just supporting Laravel Nova, but also implementing Filament on that. So yeah, who of you uses Nova? Yeah, okay. Who of you uses Filament? All right, we should have done this in the first place. Yeah. Next up, we have our Laravel configuration, where we can see, we can configure which primary key we want to use in our database. So whether I want to use an ID, UUID, or is added an ULIT, I'm able to configure this. I already set the locale to Switzerland, Swiss, and the fallback locale is also configurable. Time zone, if I want to encrypt my sessions, and so on, you name it. And here you can see what files we are able to generate currently. So from migrations to resources, everything is in its place. We have some additional classes which we generate. The filters and repositories. Filters, as I showed to you, inside the Postman request, are implemented inside the API and on the backend, Nova. And the repositories are useful, I think you know, to abstract some functions or put them outside of the controller. Right. Here we have the authentication. We don't need to implement to configure this because we get automatically signed in to Postman, Swagger UI, and Nova, but we can choose whatever we want here. We are also able to vendor publish some files, and we can implement external packages, and this will grow, I hope. Right, so I can implement broadcasting. Also, Reverb is upcoming here. And we can implement Sparty Laravel translatable and sortable. If I go to the Nova configuration, I can set the path, currency, and the pagination I prefer. And can say if I want to implement actionable. This is not only implemented for Nova, it's also implemented for all my front-end requests right out of the box. So if I create a new or edit an existing product, for example, I will also see it in the Nova backend if I do it over the API. And obviously, you should check the Nova resources. And also here, we have some external packages which you can enable. Yeah, that's it. Now to the fun part. We have 3 ways currently to define your database. You can use the visual editor here, where you can expand all databases, edit new fields, update fields, or even delete them. And here you can edit your database. You can also upload an existing project using an SQL schema. So we read all the properties from there and build the structure needed to generate the project. So simply drag it in there and try it out. And we have a Markdown editor. This is all documented in the documentation. I don't want to dive into it, but yeah, you can define everything inside there. So there are some small features, one I want to show. If I, for example, add a birthday at field, the Bootstrapper automatically recognizes that it must be a timestamp. So if we go back to our visual editor and go down to the users, we see it's automatically configured as a timestamp. Also, if I, doesn't make sense, but let's try it out, assign a product to a user. So I go ahead and create a new field here with the user ID, and it's automatically belongs to fields to the users table. If I want to overwrite it, I can simply choose the table of choice here. But I will get rid of this now. Yeah, once everything is done here, you can simply click Save and go ahead and generate the project again. So this will delete the current project structure from GitLab, generate all the resources I have shown to you, and also update your backend, the Postman configuration file, and the Swagger UI documentation. Yeah, takes a bit longer. Maybe the server's busy.
Many users.
Hopefully. Yeah. As we had it with errors. But what we could do is create a new project and simply do it with that. Example.com. And generate it. Yeah, as I already mentioned, we will develop it further, implement some new features on that, and really looking for any suggestions and hints we may miss. Something like the generation process is not working. And
Did you connect to the internet? Yes. Try to turn it off and on again.
I could try.
Maybe a reboot.
Yeah, but yeah, here you can also see the Git stats we automatically get after the generation process. So in this case, with this example, with about, I don't know, 15 tables or so, we already changed 280 files, 12,000 insertions, and 83 deletions. If I imagine I had to do this by hand, yeah, I'd rather use this tool.
And do you have a tool for whoever has to actually review this PR?
Hmm?
You have a tool for the guy who has to review the PR, and you just merge that in.
It's automatically merged.
It's all about
Currently. Yeah, so that's it.